Hello, students. Let's go ahead and talk about, continue our conversation on distributive property and combining like terms. The first time we had all addition. This time we're going to deal with these two topics with subtraction. Um, so let's go and get started. So first, quick review of distributive property. Distributive property is when you multiply each of the numbers inside the parentheses with the number outside the parentheses. So once again, we're going to multiply each of the numbers inside the parentheses with the number outside the parentheses. So let's go ahead and do the same thing. So this is very similar. Only thing that's going to change is that we're going to bring down the negative sign or the subtraction symbol. So just like before, here's our outside number of 3. It's going to be multiplied by 7. It's going to be multiplied by 2. So 3 times 7 is 21. Bring down the y. 3 times 2 is 6. But now that we have the subtraction symbol in the middle, we're going to bring down the subtraction sign. That's kind of the only thing that changes with the distributive property with a subtraction is that we bring down the subtraction sign. Now these are not like terms because one has a y, one does not, so we leave it alone. So let's do that one more time. Remember, we're going to multiply the 2 by both inside numbers. Well, the number in front of the x, remember, is a 1 because it's nothing there. So we go ahead and put a 1 there if you want to. And then we multiply the 2 times the 5. So 2 times 1 is 2x. 2 times 5 is 10. And we go ahead and bring down the subtraction symbol from the middle. So as you can see, very similar to the addition, except now that what's different is we take down the sign that is in the middle. In this case, it's subtraction and subtraction. All right, so go ahead and do these problems on your own. Go ahead and pause the video real quick, and then go ahead and come back, and I'll give you the answers. All right, welcome back, students. Let's go over the answers. So you should have multiplied 2 times 3 and 2 times 1. We should get 6x. Bring down the subtraction sign since that's what's in the middle here. And then we should get 2 times 1 is 2. For the second one, same thing. 4 times 1 because the a is by itself. And 4 times 3 gives me 4a. This time, this is an addition sign, so let's go ahead and bring down the addition sign. See, that doesn't change. And then 4 times 3 is 12. So those are the two responses you should receive, or you should have gotten. Excuse me. So go ahead, and if you got those, go ahead and move on. Otherwise, go ahead and raise your hand so I can come by and help you out. The other thing we went over was combining like terms or like terms. Remember, like terms have the same variable or variables that are written to the same power. So these are like terms, remember, because of the x here. These are like terms because they both share a and b. And these over here, the 5 and the 3 are like terms because they both don't have any variables at all. They're called constants. They're sitting there by themselves. So these are things, remember, we can combine together. But now that we're going to have subtraction symbols, we're not always adding. If we have a subtraction symbol, well, that means we have to subtract. So let's go over a couple of examples. So here, very similar problem we had yesterday. We have 3x minus now 2x. So we're going to subtract. So let's go ahead and go over the example, kind of similar. Remember here in the first one, we have 3x's. And before we were adding the 2x's. But now that this is negative, or this is a subtraction symbol, that means we're taking away. We're going to take 2 of these, 1, 2, right? Because this number is 2. And we're going to get rid of them. We're going to cross them out. Those x's go away. And so what are we left with? Well, we're left with this 1x. So we're left with x, or 1x. And we're just like before, so we're going to look at the numbers, and we're going to subtract the numbers because of the subtraction symbol right here. 3 minus 2 is 1, and we bring down the x right next to it. Of course, you also could have written this as just x, These mean the same thing, remember. So either way is perfectly fine. So you have to look at the sign now that's in front of the like terms. So if we look over here, this is 4a plus 5 minus a. Well, first let's identify the like terms. Here's a like term and here's a like term. So now we have to identify, are we adding these numbers together or are we subtracting? Well, if we look at this one, there's no sign in front of it. That means it's positive 4. If we look at this one, there's a subtraction sign in front of it. So these are like terms, but this one has a subtraction of 1. Remember, there's a 1 sitting here. So that means we have to subtract. The plus here, or the plus right here, goes with the 5. It does not go with the a. So the plus stays with the 5. So since we're combining together these two a's, I have a positive 4 minus 1, or 4 minus 1, and that gives you 3. All right, if you want to do it on the side, remember it looks like this, 4 minus 1. That's what's going on here. And then, of course, the a stays with that coefficient. Well, we didn't use the plus 5, so we had to go ahead and we need to bring this down. I didn't touch the plus 5, so let's go ahead and bring that guy straight down. So we get plus 5. Now remember, these are not like terms because one has a variable and one does not. So there's your algebraic answer. All right, so that's the important piece today, is we have to look at what the sign is in front of the numbers. Now we will have both, where we have positive here and subtraction, or addition and subtraction. So you have to be careful, look at what you have. So let's go over one that has both and also has a distributive property in it. So just like before, the first thing we have to get rid of is the distributive property, are these parentheses. So we have to multiply 3 times 2, 3 times 4. Remember, this parenthesis here means stop. I don't multiply 3 by these numbers over here because this parenthesis is stopping the action. So let's go ahead and do the multiplication. I should get 6y. There's a plus sign in the middle, so bring down the plus sign. And then I should get 12. I didn't touch any of this outside the parentheses, the subtraction sign included, so they have to come straight down. Minus 3y plus 5. And now we go ahead and we can combine like terms. Well, what things have in common? Well, here's a y here, here's a y here. But remember, what's in front of this? What sign is in front of this? The subtraction sign right here is in front of this 3. So that means I have to subtract. We have 6y minus 3y gives me 3y. So I took care of both of these. I like to box them in to show that I've used those, and also because it connects the sign together. It connects the sign with the proper term. Well, these two, if we look at positive 12 and plus 5, these are both constants. They're both like terms. So let's go ahead and group those together. So here we go. This is a 12, and it has a plus sign in front of it. This is a 5, and it has a plus sign in front of it. So if you combine these together, I add them together. 12 plus 5 is 17. And there's your answer. Remember, these are not like terms because this is a y and this does not. All right, something else to remember is in 6th grade, all of the signs in between in your final answer will have a plus sign here. This will be addition. We will never end up with a subtraction symbol here. This will always be addition at the end. Okay, so if you end up with a subtraction sign, you did something wrong. We're not dealing with negative numbers in 6th grade. All right, so you can go ahead and go to the second video, and I'm going to give you the answers to the second video. So go ahead and stop this video, do the problems, and then come back. Hi, hello students, welcome back. Let's go ahead and go over our two answers from our on your own problems. So first, let's go to problem 8. Well, identify our like terms. We have 7x and we have 2x. If we look at the 2x, there's a subtraction sign in front of it. Remember, we always look at the sign in front of it. We do not look at the sign behind it. So the sign in front of it. Remember, we read this, 7x minus 2x. Okay, so because of that, we have to combine these two together. 7 minus 2 is 5x. I did not touch the positive 3x or the plus 3x over here, so we bring it down. Once again, remember in 6th grade, you'll always have this addition sign right here. This should always be adding between the two terms. You should never have a subtraction sign. Let's go and look at problem 9. So first you should have done the distributive property. 2 times 3, 3 times 3 gives you 6y plus 9. I didn't touch this outside the parentheses, so we have to just rewrite it. Remember, big thing with math is just staying organized. So the rewriting of this step is very important because it keeps us organized. It keeps the symbols in the right spots. We have a plus here in front of the 3. We have a subtraction in front of the 4. We have a plus in front of the y. Doing this in your head can confuse you with the signs. So just please take your time and rewrite. So next we want to find like terms. Well, here's a y. Here's a y. Well, nothing's in front of it. So remember, this means 1. You can always write it in there. We add together the 1y and the 6y, and we get 7y's. Next, we also have the like terms of the constants. Remember, this is just a number. The sign that goes in front of it is positive. This is a number. The sign that goes in front of this is negative. So this is just simply 9 minus 4. 9 minus 4 is a positive 5. So once again, plus sign in between. They're not like, so we can't combine them together anymore. All right, if you got those two responses, just go ahead and move on. Otherwise, please raise your hand so I can come by and help you out.